Hello, this meditation is for people with depression who are struggling to get out of bed. In order to avoid you falling back asleep, we will only have minimal pauses in this meditation. Let's begin. We're going to start by acknowledging the important step that you took in getting to this video. The fact that you are here means you are struggling with a depression that is so deep that it is preventing you from enjoying the one life you've been given. And in spite of this depression, you want more for yourself. You want to be able to get out of bed. You want to be like everyone else. And that part of you, it doesn't get seen enough. So we're going to do that now. Repeat the next 3 sentences in your mind to yourself. There is still a part of me that wants to get better. I promise to start acknowledging that part of myself more often. The journey to health takes time, and it takes patience, but it also requires action. Thankfully, these actions don't have to be huge. In fact, it's much better to take small baby steps every day or every other day than it is to suddenly take a huge step that's just going to burn you out. So yes, clicking on this meditation means you have taken a crucial step. It means you're not going to keep waiting around to get better. You're going to start to chip away at it today. The next small step we are going to take is acceptance. Acceptance of what is happening right now. I know you don't want to be a person stuck in bed, but if we want to overcome this, we have to start by accepting it. Say to yourself, I am having a hard time getting out of bed. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It is incredibly hard living with depression, especially when you have to keep pushing through and ignoring your pain. So right now, we aren't going to push through. We're going to turn towards our pain. I know that sounds hard, but just think. You already know how hard life is when you ignore the pain and keep pushing yourself past your limits. Could it really be that much harder to look towards our pain instead? It's worth a shot, don't you think? Doing the same thing for days, weeks, even years hasn't fixed the depression. Maybe it's time to try something else. So acknowledge what is happening to you in this moment. I am feeling depressed. I feel hopeless. I don't want to get out of bed. Whatever it is that's going on inside of you, just acknowledge it. And pay attention if you hear a thought that says, I don't want to feel this way. We can acknowledge the pain that comes in this thought, but this is the only thought that we need to push back on a little bit. You may not want to feel this way, but you do. And denying your experience only sends you deeper into that pain. So we can acknowledge this thought too and say to it, yes, I can understand why you don't want to feel this way. But this is our reality at this moment. And in order to get to a place where we feel better, we have to respect our present moment. I am having a hard time right now. I see that within myself. I am listening to myself. This listening needs to happen without judgment. So notice any judgments that may be occurring. If whenever you acknowledge, I am having a hard time right now, your brain adds something in like, because I'm a useless blob, catch those judgments. The way to remove them is to notice them. Many humans experience depression, and sometimes it's really, really bad. These humans are not useless blobs. We are living in a world that we were not designed for. We were made to be outside, to be moving, not sitting at a computer 40 hours a week. We were meant to live in small communities, where the things you did mattered, where people helped each other. The world we live in has evolved so quickly in the last 100 years, and our biology has not caught up to that evolution. So you must stop blaming yourself for having a hard time. More and more people are having a hard time in this world. You're not unusual, you're not abnormal, and you're not lazy. If you are depressed right now, if you are tired right now, if you're feeling hopeless right now, turn towards those feelings, not away. They need to be acknowledged. Imagine you're on a road driving, and these feelings are tailgating you, stressing you out like crazy. If you keep ignoring them, they aren't going to go away. They aren't going to release you from this pain. But if you pull over for a second to let them pass, then you can get back on the road with a new freedom. Okay, if you feel like you need more time to acknowledge what you're experiencing, feel free to pause right now because we're going to continue on with the meditation. I know this might sound weird, but I want you to think about something that you're dreading doing when you get out of bed. Okay, do you got it? Recognize how thinking about this activity is making you feel right now. Accept this feeling. Notice how it feels in your body. And now, let's try to think if there's anything about this activity that is good. So if it's doing the dishes, the good thing could be afterwards you'll have a nice clean kitchen. If you have a work meeting that you're worried about, the good thing could be that once it's over, you can stop stressing and relax. Maybe even give yourself a little treat. After you've thought about this, try to think of at least one nice thing that is going to happen when you're out of bed. It doesn't matter how small the thing is. Maybe it's your cup of coffee. Maybe it's getting to feed the birds outside, taking a hot shower, going for a drive. Just one thing that would be kind of nice. Now, do you feel like you have the ability to go and do that thing? If not right now, maybe try to accomplish it within the first hour of getting out of bed. It's okay if you still feel like you can't. If that's where you're at, go back to acknowledging and accepting, listening to yourself and what you're experiencing right now. If you still can't get out of bed, that usually means there is still something in you that needs to be listened to. Or it could mean you genuinely need sleep, which is also something to consider. So if you feel like you can get up, then well done. Make sure to acknowledge your achievement. And if you can't, don't worry and don't beat yourself up, because you still took the steps to try, and that is huge. It really is. It could just mean that right now, getting out of bed is still too much for you. Some days are hard, but some days are really hard. That doesn't mean you're broken. All it means is today is a really hard day, and you might need a bit more time to process. I'd still recommend listening and accepting, going through your emotions and what you're experiencing, and catching judgments if they pop up. You've been hard on yourself for so long. It's time to try something new. And please, don't give up. The world needs you. You're the only you we've got. Thank you so much for joining today's meditation. I hope you found it helpful. Good luck today.